Reverend Ralph Boersma in Bristol, Virginia says, I respect your decision to not run. I'm disappointed that the commentators have framed your decision as a choice for a money-making career. But some of you were very supportive of the decision, like Herb Sprankle from Woodstock, Maryland, who says, at least you're going to remain on Fox News. Well, that is unless the end of the world should come, in fact. But come to think of it, if you're watching this show, it didn't happen. And finally, this from Judy Adams in Montana. Very sweet note. She says, Dear Mike, I'm so glad that you are not running. You are too important where you are. You reach all of America in a very honest way, directly to the heart. My heartfelt thanks, not only for those who were complimentary, but I'm also grateful for the ones who were less than, because, frankly, that's what makes America a wonderful country. We get to disagree with people, whether they're in office or not, whether they run or not. But I do hope you agree that we do live in a great country, and we need to keep it that way by loving it and making sure we pass it on to our kids in the best way possible. Well, now that I'm not taking part of the presidential campaign, I have an idea how to improve the nomination process. And I pitched my idea to Jay Leno when I visited him on The Tonight Show earlier this week. Now, I think this whole primary thing is ridiculous.
Yes, I'll send it.
It's obscenely expensive. It costs a whole lot of money. It lasts too
Record
long.
a gully washer.
So here's the idea. Forget the primaries. We do a political version of American Idol and combine it with the great race. And what happens is everybody wants to be president.
The squirrel's gone.
And over the course of several weeks, they get voted off by the American people until you have a couple of options. Well, my first guest is a pastor of one of America's great churches. And he's also a best-selling Christian author who preaches forgiveness. But this week, former Governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, revealed that he's fathered a child with his housekeeper while she lived in the same house with him, his wife Maria Shriver, and their 4 children. Now, are some things unforgivable? Let's ask Max Lucado, author of the new book, Max on Life. Max,
yeah.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much. Max, we have seen a really tough chapter, and I know Arnold and Maria from our days as governors together.
So far it's not windy, it's this heavy rain.
It happened with Mark Sanford, I've seen it with John Edwards, we've seen it with Jim McGreevy of New Jersey.
Or not by the sewer yet.
And they do things we say, how could they do that? First of all, why is it that people in power...
Or zooming in by where it usually fills up, but
pastors and leading church leaders as well.
Usually it will when we get this kind of a gully washer. Or it's
abounding in the Bible of people like King David and Samson who lost their way. And
yeah, it's raining pretty hard now.
That's a great question. You know, sometimes I think that
there's a car down the street. You can see.
Where we think we are impervious or bulletproof.
They're like parked by the Y there, probably waiting for it to flood.
And that blended with the opportunities that come at certain positions that don't come at other positions, it's a deadly mixture, and it can really create havoc.
When a situation like this with Schwarzenegger happens, the question that I raised rhetorically was, are some things unforgivable?
No.
Nothing is unforgivable. Yeah.
That was a big flash.
The hope that we have is that we have a God who is a
Thunder.
mercy and overflowing in generous and loving kindness. God doesn't always remove the consequences of our decision, Governor, but He is quick to remove the sin and offer forgiveness. But we live with the consequences of our decisions, even when we're forgiven. And that's why this is such a wake-up call, I think, for our country, and I think for every person watching. We're living in a day in which marriages are...
So far it's not wind-driven, it's just a really heavy rain.
Sacrificing marriages on the altar of success.
The sewer is starting to spin. Oh, that was a big lightning.
And our future generations are really going to pay a price for this unless we have a wake-up call as to the sanctity and the value
but
of
Max Lucado is going to stay with us. We'll ask him.
There now it's starting to rain harder. The sewer's starting to fill up.
He is the author of the book Max on Life and many, many more books. Max Lucado.
The wind's starting to pick up again now.
Be right back.
A little bit.
If something hit 1 in 30 homes, causing up to $8,600 in damage, you'd expect it to look like this. Not this. Get to them before they get to you with the Terminix Ultimate Protection Guarantee. Call or click today. Terminix.
But the street is filling up. Just by the sewer, it's starting to fill up.
But Match.com has led to more dates, more relationships, and more marriages than any other site. Start for free today. It
was the most deadly attack on American soil. Could it have been stopped? A Fox News special investigation.
This was essentially a dry run. They had to have a network.
Help the hijackers. Are terrorist cells still here? And what are they planning next? Fox News reporting uncovers the secrets of 9/11 tonight on the Fox News channel.
Long before a Cummins diesel engine powered a Ram truck, it roared to life out here and proved itself.
You can see the flower pot overflowing there.
And here.
That's the old one from last year.
Delivering best-in-class towing here. An unsurpassed.
But this is how hard it overflows on the
5-year, 100,000-mile.
the rain gutters when we get an extreme amount of rain at one time.
It's Red Lobster's Festival of Shrimp for just $11.99. Create your own combination of two of our most tempting selections. From favorites.
As you can see that the water is now rushing across the street like a river.
Ending soon at Red Lobster.
Finally, there's a choice for my patients with an irregular heartbeat called atrial fibrillation or AFib that's not caused by a heart valve problem. Today we have reduce the risk of a stroke caused by a clot. In a clinical trial, Pradaxa 150 milligrams reduced stroke risk 35% more than warfarin. And with Pradaxa, there's no need for those regular blood tests.
It seems to be letting up.
It's progress.
Pradaxa can cause serious, sometimes fatal bleeding. Don't take Pradaxa if you have abnormal bleeding, and seek immediate medical care.
See the water gushing across the street.
Like unusual bruising.
Pradaxa may increase your bleeding risk if you're 75 or older, have kidney problems, or a bleeding condition like stomach ulcers, or if you take
See this bunch of standing water.
Tell your doctor about all medicines you
Up
take.
and they'll show how deep the water is by the water going, car going through the water. Then they stop because it's deep.
Other side effects include indigestion, stomach pain, upset, or burning.
If you have AFib not caused by a heart valve problem, ask your doctor if Pradaxa can reduce your risk of a stroke.
He's a successful CEO and political powerhouse. Now, could Herman Cain add president to his resume? John gets his winning campaign strategy Monday on Hannity.
The author of the new book, Max on Life, and about 30 others. But Max, just before the break, we were talking about the horrible situation that's happened this week with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver. What should Arnold say to Maria? What can he say at this point?
You know, there's something about the violation of a marriage and the act of adultery that sucks the trust out of a marriage. And his goal in any situation